Hello everyone, my name is Super Chicken. I'm really impressed by the feedback that I got on Twitter about how well the Hunter Control deck went, so I thought I'd give it another round. A few people sort of said that maybe I fluked a few wins. I can assure you that I haven't. It's been going particularly well for me, that's why I sort of decided I wanted to showcase it. But I'll showcase it again, and maybe we can see a little bit more what this deck can do. I've only made a couple of small tweaks to the deck. I added a second flare. A lot of people are probably not going to be a fan of that addition. Obviously, flare is a really good addition against the mage decks that are utilizing ice block and mountain giants and all that sort of stuff. So that, you know, that has a really good use. But I typically find that just for 1 mana, just as a cantrip, just to draw into another card, it's alright. It's pretty good. It gets even better when you start to have Gadget Stand Auctioneer out, and you can play Flare and then draw 2 cards, which is pretty good. I find that in this deck I do want specific cards to come out to sort of counteract what other people are doing, and so having that extra draw ability is sort of the major reason why I upped that to 2. I made a couple of other minor tweaks, but nothing too serious. You've probably already seen what this is all about. Who are we playing against? A Druid. So Flare won't be revealing any secrets. It may reveal stealth, but that's not really why it's here. I'll keep it though, because it's a turn 1 play that allows me to draw a card, so it'll get me somewhere. So that's fine. We'll get rid of Sylvanas, just because I think at 5 mana, it's just not going to be doing too much. We'll keep Animal Companion, because it's really the only play that our actual tangible play that we have visible to us. Explosive Trap is a good card to replace Sylvanas with. We're happy to get Sylvanas. We want to draw her later on. Yeah. Okay, so basically between tracking and flare, I might actually do tracking. I sort of get to pick what I get, whereas flare may have a use of revealing stealth later on. Oh, you know what? Let's just flare. The reason I've gone with flare in this time is because I actually don't know what this druid is going to be doing to me. If they come off really aggressive, I might want to track into something else. But if he's a really passive player and wants to hang back and drop really big, you know, trees on me later on, I will use tracking to find a very specific card. So this gives me a little bit of flexibility, but it's sort of, I need to know what he's up to for me to use it as best I can. The very fact that he's played a Knife Juggler sort of would suggest that he's going to be dropping a lot of small costing creatures. So we're going to put down an Explosive Trap. If he's smart, he'll probably swing with the Knife Juggler first, so that it trades 1 for 1. With any luck, he'll play another creature as well at the same time. But trading 1 for 1 is fine. Any more is just a bonus. Because, I mean, what if on his next turn, when he has 3 mana available to him, and he only has 3 mana because he just used Wild Growth, he had 2 mana just then. He could play something like Shattered Sun Cleric and then turn that Knife Juggler into a 3 toughness creature, and it would have survived the Flame Trap just then. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon, the Explosive Trap. So, you know, we're going to put the Snipe up. Whatever he plays will hopefully just kill. I'll just pass the turn. I'm going to keep tracking just a little bit longer. It's really easy just to cast it with the excess mana that you have. Next turn I could easily do Animal Companion and tracking together, but I'm sort of just waiting to see, get a little bit more information on him. I'll tell you what, Alamo Bot is something you don't see too often, so I don't know where he was going with that. Because Alamo Bot sort of suggests to me he has a ton of tremendous big creatures, but the Knife Juggler sort of suggests to me that he has a lot of cheap creatures, so I don't really know what he's up to at the moment, and it scares and infuriates me. I'm going to snipe again and ping him for 2. You got to use Steady Shot whenever you can. You got to sort of ping them down, keep their life total, you know, steadily dropping. We don't have a large amount of bombs in this list like I do on my mage list, where we can play like Ysera or Ragnaros or something like that. We only have 1 Ragnaros in this one, and everything else is, the highest costing card is 6, other than Ragnaros.
Show me what you've learned.
Ooh. You don't see him too often. It's actually really good that he did get killed by Snipe just then, because I have a lot of spells in this deck, and he would have just stolen all the spells, and that would have been terrible. Terrible for us. I think we've got to start putting the pressure on. I'm going to put Animal Companion and Steady Shot. Yeah, Animal Companion is one of those spells that I sort of do like and sort of don't, and I sort of feel like it's not as good in this deck. I've actually dropped it down from 2 to 1 copy in this deck, and the major reason is because you have a chance of getting Leok, and Leok just isn't that good in this particular deck, because I just don't have that many creatures. It is at this point in time I would consider doing tracking and hopefully get a deadly shot and then use deadly shot on him. And then if that fails, I will probably use misdirection, so when he attacks me, he'll hopefully just do 7 damage to himself. There's every chance though he'll spawn on some of these flames of Azeroth, and then he'll just attack those instead, and that's not good. We do have an Abomination which can collect all his flames, so we can fall back onto that. So I'm going to try to track and hit deadly shot. If I hit a deadly shot, we're laughing. No. Okay. Might take the bow. I think I could be taking a lot of damage if I do that. Between Explosive Trap and perhaps Abomination, that could be 4 damage on him. Which will, when he creates another flame, that'll enable multi-shot, so that's 3, 4, 5. So is he 5 toughness? I think he's 5 toughness. So multi-shot plus Arcane Shot will get him. I think I'll take Arcane Shot. Yeah, he is 5. Okay. That's good. Misdirection. Ping. And attack. We'll see what happens here. More than likely he will activate and create at least one other flame, which I can then multi-shot Illidan. At the moment I can't really do much until he casts a spell.
Drink up me army.
Is this like the massive legendary deck that's been floating around? Because it certainly feels like it. Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be... No! Wow, this is just such a crazy game. So many legendaries. I don't even know what to say about this. What do you do? What am I even looking at? See, now I can't even really multi-shot into Illidan. If I do happen to tag him, that'll be really, really good. I could probably just use my whelps to get rid of these, and then give it a good chance of hitting that, or I could use one whelp and then Arcane Shot Illidan. Yeah, this is just... What do you do? The whelps probably need to clean these out. I could probably... Well, I could probably... Oh, wow. This is just... What? God, so many options. Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna multi-shot first. Okay, that's interesting. That can go there. He can go. Wow, I think that was reasonably well handled. I'm not sure if I want to use Misdirection right now. Given the amount of legendaries that he's played, I'm sure I would rather use it on one of them instead of just sort of taking these out. Because these will get taken out with the Abomination next turn. I can handle the 4 damage. So I'll just ping him instead and save my Misdirection.
Quickly.
Yeah, that was just probably one of the craziest turns I've had to look at.
I dream.
Hey, another legendary. I gotta say, fighting against Ysera right now is not great. Because he's just gonna pull ahead with card advantage. I really just sort of need to ping him down as quickly as I can. The Abomination is coming out. We're gonna hope that he doesn't have Dream to bounce it back to my hand. That'll clear out these things. Yeah. Interestingly, if I do catch Ysera on a freezing trap, he won't be able to cast it again unless he uses mana buffing spells, like Innovate. because then she'll become a 11 cost creature. So we could remove her permanently with a freezing trap. If we're lucky. I think I'm going to play Misdirection though, because if he does get past my... If he does remove my Abomination, he will swing through with something and, you know, hopefully just absorb some of that damage. Hopefully maybe these two will actually kill each other. Well, there you go. That was awkwardly handled, I think. I got a feeling he just doesn't have that that large amount of spells. He just seems to have just legendaries.
Is there trouble?
Admittedly, that's a little bit awkward. I sort of want to see Freezing Trap hit Ysera right now. But now it has a chance of hitting this Laughing Sister, which is less good. Double Freezing Trap, huh? I guess we'll get it one way or another. Freezing Trap? If he is purely legendary, the Black Knight probably won't have a chance to drop a taunt down. But at the same time, he's not going to trade with either of these. So I think I'm just going to keep him, just in case. I mean, if he doesn't heal, I'd get him in 3 turns, so we just basically need to live 3 turns. That's because of Steady Shot. Oh, right, he makes armor. I forgot about that. Okay, well, you know, it could be maybe 6 turns. I'm sort of hoping that he doesn't replay anything this turn. That would be just really good if he could pass. I mean, I find that to be unlikely. He will at the very least put down the Laughing Sister.
Is there trouble?
Yeah. I would love to catch Ysera on the Freezing Trap. I think that he's always going to lead with Laughing Sister, though. And the amount of cards that he gets from a Ysera is just so many cards. This will put the damage on, I think. I'm going to go for his life total. We just need to get him down as quickly as possible. He needs to do some drastic actions here. Otherwise, I'm just going to get him next turn. Just with the combination of the bow and Steady Shot, I will get him down. He's not actually preventing a lot of damage. He is going out of control with the cards in his hand here, but, you know. I'm sort of expecting like a Ironbark Protector to come down, because I mean, he's a druid, he does have access to that 8/8. We actually got Ysera on the Freezing Trap. That is excellent, because I believe that he can't cast it unless he has an Innovate now, which he may or may not do. So that's an 11 cost spell, which you isn't coming out anytime soon. So I like to think that we've removed Ysera from the game, which is excellent news.
Well,
There we go, another win. Let's just jump into the next one, shall we? I actually haven't seen the all legendary deck, or what would I assume to be the very near all legendary deck. He did have a Knife Juggler, so I guess it's not fully complete, his legendary deck, but it is damn well near close. So good on him for getting all the legendaries. I mean, that's a lot of dust right there. That's a lot of arena play, or money spending, depending on how you like to handle things. Typically, though, I don't actually think the legendary deck is that good, because all the legendaries are sort of so conditional. They're so... they require certain things to fall into place for them to be particularly good. So to have all of them just mashed together isn't necessarily going to be the best thing. I think you can find rare cards, or even common cards that can work
You asked for it.
better.
let the hunt begin.
But anyway, here we are. I like to see these 3 in the opening hand. That's really good. We'll get rid of the Abomination and draw him later. He is a... Oh, excuse me. He is a one-of in this deck. So we're not going to be seeing lots of him, but we might see him come up later. It all depends what this enemy mage is. It could be an aggression mage, or it could be a control mage. Could even be the giant mage going around. We shall see. And yeah, we're definitely going to be keeping Flare for the mage though, so we're going to open with tracking, because Flare is sort of the big reason why we included it in the deck. It's because of mages. We're going to take a sort of safe option here, I would imagine. I think Deadly Shot's probably the safe option. It seems a shame to pitch Sylvanas, but Deadly Shot is just, you know, pretty reliable. If he wants to start dropping Azure Drakes, I can at least handle it. Bang on. If you've seen any of my mage videos, I actually think playing Kobold Geomancer on turn 2 is a bad idea. Ultimately, it's likely to be removed. I mean, I realize I don't have a removal spell here, and I'm not going to be wasting my Deadly Shot on it, but it is so easy for it just to get killed on the second turn. It's much better if you've been on 5 or 6 mana or something like that, and you can use a Frostbolt in conjunction with playing this on the same turn for the extra damage. But alas, no good. We're going to put Snipe down and just sort of kill whatever comes out next. There aren't many 3 mana creatures that have toughness over toughness 4. So the only real thing would be like a Chillwind Yeti on turn 4. But that's not now. The 2 damage is not that frustrating at the moment. We're just going to sort of wait for an Arcane Shot to come out. And we'll clean him up as soon as we can. And the bow will do fine. The Eaglehorn bow, we can just hit him. This is sort of part of the reason why you just don't play this creature, because like he hasn't done anything. He just got removed, and I still have my bow, so you know. But later on, had he sort of had a you know, fireball, and he needs to do 7 damage instead of, you know, 6 damage, he could combo them together. But I'm not gonna lie, actually, those mana worms and the fact that he's played this card here sort of indicate that maybe he's sort of got an aggressive sort of side to this deck. And I must admit, the old Mana Worm into Mirror Image is a particularly hard start to handle. At least I find it is. I'm just going to get rid of this. I'm happy enough to take the damage. There will come a time when I will want to stop taking the damage, because it will start to hurt a large amount. I'm going to put down the Misdirection, sort of just to really get the charge up here. There's a chance I should have maybe kept a hold of that, but I'm going to play it and try to get a charge up as soon as I can. Because I am playing against a mage, I can only sort of use the weapon to kill creatures for so long, because eventually I'll get within Pyroblast range, and I really sort of need to start conserving my health. At the moment, though, I'm trying to stop him getting any sort of tempo on the board. I feel like I'm going to be able to do that as well. I have a couple of options here. I can Deadly Shot it and just remove it and call it a day. Or, I mean, what I could do is just tap and then wait for him to attack me. He'll attack himself due to Misdirection, and then I'll get a charge on my bow and then kill it next turn. But the Mana Worm could have a lot higher damage, and he could play other creatures, maybe even a Taunt creature, and that plan could fall through. It doesn't seem so good. Seems like the best chance would be to play an Argent Commander and just clean it up. We'll use the coin and get there. Argent Commander is such a good card, how he just trades. Usually it'll cost 2 cards of the enemy to remove him. That's 1 being the Mana Worm, and, you know, 2, whatever he has to do to get rid of this card here. Maybe 3 if he misses it totally. Oh no, he got it. Either way, he probably would have cleaned it up with Fire Blast, but, you know, sometimes it's fun to make them work for it. So yeah, Argent Commander got 2 cards out of that exchange, which is pretty nice. Yeah. I do have a Misdirection up. I'm just wondering if I want to use it on this creature, like he swings and let that be that, and I get my charge, or do I wish to just Deadly Shot him and then a Steady Shot? I think I might actually save my Deadly Shots. I've got half a feeling a few Ragnarosses and that sort of thing might be coming later. So, well, it's either that or give up the Misdirection, isn't it? I'm sort of expecting Ragnaros as a finisher, and he actually doesn't interact with Misdirection at all. So I might let the Water Elemental activate the Misdirection here. It'll give me a charge on my bow as well, so we'll just tag, and I think I'll pass. I think that's the correct choice. We shall see. We shall see if I'm correct or not. It's also important to note that if he did hit me, he would have actually frozen me, which would have made my bow shots a little bit harder to use.
You know, take candle.
Okay. Okay, so there's a very real chance that maybe I should have Deadly Shotted, because now Deadly Shot may actually just be absorbed by Kobold Geomancer, which I probably will just use my bow on anyway. Let's make an animal. Yeah, I just hate it when I get Leok. I really do. I mean, Misha the Bear and Huffer the Hog are really, really good. Leok is just, in this deck is just terrible, because I just don't have any creatures. I must review the use of this card, I think. Okay, so some for you. Some for you. I'm gonna keep the flares. I don't think I need another card at the moment. I realize that he hasn't really played a secret just yet, so it's unlikely that he will. So I might be able to use one of them just to see another card. I might do that. I might just to see another card. I sort of got the feeling he's pretty heavy on creatures and probably just the standard sort of spells at the moment. But I'm definitely going to be holding on to my last flare. I think the last flare will be maybe even a decider if he decides to start ice blocking at the later stages of this game. I'm going to want to be able to remove that. If he uses a spell to remove Leok, then I'll be cheering. See, this is a big problem. Both his fireballs are gone, but that is likely meaning that he's sitting on a fire blast. I don't think I have any real way to get rid of a fire blast. Pyroblast, beg your pardon. The 10 damage spell. Or even a pair of frostbolts. I'm startlingly low. Yes, that puts me quite low. He's emphasizing it for me. I can't actually think of any card that really draws health for me here. To stop me dying to a Arcane Missiles, because I think he's only cast 1 Arcane Missiles, I will always need to have a creature out, otherwise I'll just take 3 damage, and that will be that. He will ping me with Fire Blast though, so I really need to up the damage somehow if I have any chance of actually winning this. Which I think is going to be pretty tough, if not impossible.
I got the best deals anywhere.
Yes, I am really, really far behind at the moment. I think I'll play Pyromancer because long term it's going to be doing more damage than my Steady Shot.
Do you like to play with fire?
And I can Steady Shot next turn. Assuming I don't die this turn immediately. I think maybe I took too much damage with his direct spells to my life total and the use of my bow. Yeah, that freezing effect really will preserve a lot of his life. That is upsetting to me, to say the least. Okay. Well, I really need to pile on the damage. I don't have a choice here. I think maybe I even need to play my big game hunter, quite possibly. I can bow into Freezing Trap, which will prevent a haste creature killing me. It'll put a charge on that if I need to. I am drawing cards with Gadget Stand Auctioneer, which is why I'm sort of wanting to get as many of these out as I can. Oh, this is going to be so tight. I might even need to blow my flare just to see 2 cards now. I'll get one from Flare, one from Auctioneer, and hopefully just refuel and go to town. That's maybe my best bet. Quite possibly. Oh, I'm going to have to do it. I just need to see cards. He'll kill me in 2 turns otherwise. Just with his passive, let alone if he Frostbolts me. An Explosive Trap. Yeah, I'll put one down. Why not? I'll see another card. Ooh, I might want to... If I live a turn, I'll try to get him out, but I don't think... Well, that won't stop this. I don't think I have any way of, you know, taking 18 life off that rapidly. I would need to see a Ragnaros next turn, and him sheeping my 5 damage creature doesn't particularly help either. I think this one's inevitable.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
No, this one's absolutely inevitable. It is a shame. I am on 1 health, so there's nothing I can do. Nothing at all. And that'll kill. Even playing this will just kill me, just when he dies, which is even more upsetting. Let's see how close we can get. I mean, if you've seen some of my earlier videos, there was a paladin who had me dead on board, but just opted not to kill me. I don't know why, but that's what happened. I mean, we gave it a good go. I mean, there's every chance. I just wonder. Explosive trap will put him down to 2, you know? If I could have done maybe 2 more damage that turn, if he chose to kill me with his mage instead of his fire blast, he would actually kill himself. But 2 things went wrong there. 1, I didn't do enough damage, and 2, he chose to finish me with his fire blast. Unlucky. Disappointing. I think 1 more game, and we'll try to make it a 2-1. 2 wins, 1 loss. I gotta say, if you watch my last video, I'm getting a pretty good win rate with this deck. I mean, that was a loss, obviously, but it's generally feeling pretty good. There's a chance maybe the second flare is overkill there. It really didn't feel like it was doing too much for me then, and that was even against the deck that, or at least the class that it was brought in for. So maybe 1 is the sweet number there. Another druid.
I must protect the wild.
I think we normally go alright against druids. I mean, the druid we faced earlier is probably a bad example because he was like totally legendary. But generally speaking, I think we go okay. So hopefully that's going to be the case. Wild Pyromancer and Flare together is pretty good. We can play that and that in 1 turn. So for that reason, I think I'll keep it. Double Flare, why not? Okay, so we're going to use a Flare in turn 1. It gives us the turn 1 play, unless we get a tracking, in which case I can debate what I want to do. I'll Flare, just draw another card. Ultimately, that lets us see more of our deck, and that's pretty good. Because we do want to see very particular cards to sort of counteract what they're doing. Plus, it's, you know, fireworks. Pew! Pow!
My greetings. Greetings, traveler.
Oh, wow. Why do people do this? Why do they open with these? I mean, once again, I am without the kill spell here to destroy it. Once again. But it's bad practice. You shouldn't do it because there's a very good chance that I will have it. It's just unlucky that I can't prove to you that that's not the play. I mean, all I need to do is do any sort of splash damage onto him and he will die. He's not for drawing a card. I mean, obviously that's one of his purposes, but it's the fact that for 2 extra mana you can add 1 extra damage to all your spells. And he's not exactly pressuring me with 1 damage a turn either. For 3 mana, I will probably remove this with a Wild Pyromancer instead of using the bow charge. Feels good. Let's do that.
Do you like to play with fire?
He gains a card, I gain a card off Flare, but I also have a Wild Mage Pyromancer on the field. So in a way I've got a bit of a tempo boost, or I'm hoping I'll have a tempo boost. I realize that his Shapeshift can get rid of it, but it'll put a little bit of damage onto him at the very least. Or it will make him spend his mana in a way in the early stages of the game that won't be necessarily developing his own board. If he plays another card, one that even has 3 toughness or less, then this will trade again. Like, I'll just attack it straight away. And then my Wild Pyromancer has so much more, you know, value. Unfortunately, though, he Wraths it, and he doesn't lose a card for that, so, I mean, what are you going to do? Animal Companion, I think, is the play here. Alternatively, we can go Eaglehorn Bow and get rid of it. But then he will have his little broken or damaged golem that comes out afterwards. And I don't really have a way to handle that just now. So I don't think there's much point in using a charge of the bow just to get rid of, you know, the first instance of Harvest Golem. We'll put down one of the animal companions. Generally, I think almost all of the animals can kill the golem with the exception of Leok. There you go, bear. Bear's good. I mean, bear is a large bear. Misha is pretty. It's one of the reasons that I do like the spell. Same with Huffer. I mean, Huffer could come out and just, you know, trade away there. I think the bear was probably the best one to get there, but it is that random element that sort of makes me really get a little bit annoyed with that card. I realize it goes particularly well with Gadget Stand Auctioneer and other things like that, because you're putting a creature down, but it's actually technically a spell, so it triggers, you know, that. But I don't really feel compelled to remove him at this stage. I feel like I can with a Deadly Shot, so if he does want to buff it later, I can Deadly Shot it. But 2 damage a turn is fine. And he really has to sort of work these creatures here. There's a good chance that I should sort of take my own advice. When I talk about Blood Mage and Kobold Geomancer, I always say use it in conjunction with a spell. And I think this card is one of those cards that you do that as well. But I'm sort of just trying to stress his abilities here. Okay, so we get either silenced or pinged. So it's gone anyway. So maybe I could have drawn some cards off it, but I'm sort of hoping that I can trade a few times, even just with this creature, just by himself. He's a pretty good brawler. Like, I take the first instance of that away, plus I can trade with this fellow. Feels okay. Feels alright. I could multi-shot, but not kill this man. Which is unfortunate. I think I would probably have to multi-shot and Eaglehorn Bow together. I can't afford that. Interesting. I could misdirect. Yeah, I think the play is to put the bow down and then use the bow on the damaged golem, which I'll do, and sneak 2 damage through. The reason I'm going to do that... Yeah, I'll put a misdirection down as well. The reason I'm going to put a misdirection down is because I want the charge on my bow more than anything. More than likely, he will trade Keeper of the Grove into my Gadget Stand Auctioneer unless he plays something from his hand. He'll do that because if we are to race at each other's life totals, I'm doing 4 damage a turn, he's doing 2 damage a turn. So it's in his interest to trade. So I used my Auctioneer to attack his life total because I knew he would trade with me anyway. And I got that free 4 damage in. Unfortunately, misdirection doesn't do a lot here. In matter of fact, it's quite terrible. Like, what did that do? Other than give me a charge, which I'm probably just going to have to waste on his little guy anyway. I'd kill for a flame trap right now. That'd be explosive trap. That'd be something. I'm going to charge, but I'm not going to charge this creature. A 1/1 is not worth popping my shield. I think I'm just going to go the health total. And for the same reason, he'll probably use this creature to pop my shield anyway. So I'll let him do that in his own time. In the meantime, I'm just going to work his life total as best I can. I don't even want to use Deadly Shot on it. A Deadly Shot seems like an absolute waste on something like that. So, you know, at worst, if he does play a creature that I actually do want a Deadly Shot and then keeps this alive so I can't Deadly Shot it because it's going to be split 50-50, I can always multi-shot and then Deadly Shot and then I break even. Two cards for 2 cards. Which isn't great, but it's not bad, it's just average. He used it to pop the shield. See, I mean, I could have come in and popped it for him, but then he has a chance to, you know, combo his moves together. It's sort of good to... He has to address this creature, otherwise I'm just going to be doing 4 damage a turn. Interesting question now. Do we use Misdirection and try to put his own 3 damage on himself, or do we use Explosive Trap, It'll do 2 damage to him and remove the creature. I could probably get away with doing both. That's interesting. I definitely think Misdirection is the play here, because between Misdirection, that'll be 3 damage from the Misdirection because he'll hit himself. I hit him for 2, that's 5. I'll get a charge on that, that's another 3. And then next turn I can use Explosive Trap and this. That'll 3, 4, you know. It really adds up to a significant amount of damage. I feel like I might be able to get him that way. So I'm going to start with Misdirection. And a ping. I realize I can Deadly Shot him. I actually sort of want this creature to hit himself, and I want to trigger a charge on my bow. So we're actually going to keep his creature alive for that opportunity. It'll be even better if he decides to buff his own creature somehow, like if he puts like one of those Mark of the Wilds down. They're seeing a lot less play the higher in the ranks I go. Actually, I'll interrupt that. If he does target this creature, Explosive Trap just got a whole lot better. Explosive Trap will now kill this creature. I realize he gained 5 life, so that sort of puts him out of that deadly range just there, but it's all good. I'm going to keep him alive for the same reason that I can Explosive Trap. I realize if he gets Mark of the Wild or something like that, I can then Deadly Shot it instead. But I think we'll play... You know, there's a very good chance I should just Deadly Shot it and be done with it. Because then I can put Snipe down, get the extra charge when he plays a creature. No, we're going to go with Explosive Trap. He's going to walk straight into this. I can feel it. I'm going to play Snipe as well. I want charges. These 3 spells that I'm holding in my hand make me feel very comfortable in whatever... Like, there's not many cards that he can play that I can't really get at the moment. Especially with all these secrets up. I've been wrong before, though. Double Ancient of Law. Okay, that Snipe actually puts him within burn range, so if this one actually does attack, he loses both his Ancients. And I'm gaining charges on the bow, so I'm going to continually pressure him. If he does actually fear the Explosive Trap, he won't attack. He loses them. Double Tree. I realized I had to spend a Snipe and an Explosive Trap for that. Thank you. I do have 3 charges on this bow, so it's time to just like really go for him, you know. I'm gonna use tracking, try to fool something out. I think it's just a matter of closing this game now. Explosive Trap is interesting because it allows me to put an extra 2 damage onto him when it does explode. The Freezing Trap though will at least catch something that's really large, which I can probably get with a Deadly Shot or a Big Game Hunter anyway. So I'm going to go the Explosive Trap for the damage, which I'm sure he will absolutely love. Big Game Hunter is a really good card. I think it might actually be unnecessary in this deck because I have cards like Deadly Shot that allow me to take out big creatures anyway, so I don't need that, but man, it sort of acts as like my 3rd Deadly Shot in the deck, and it's sweet. Okay, so he took away my trap using himself, which it does 2 damage. It takes away my trap. I mean, what can you do? I would rather keep the trap, but I think we just put the pressure on him. I mean, even when he explodes, that'll be another 2 damage. It is a little concerning because druids really rarely run out of cards. Like, they just have so many things that sort of cantrip into more cards or just draw more cards, so they never seem to run out. So it is a possibility that he will find something really sweet and high-end and then drop it. Which I will hopefully just Deadly Shot, but... So this would be a perfect example of something that's going to eat either my Big Game Hunter or my Deadly Shot. In this case, it'll be my Big Game Hunter because I want to put something on the board as well.
I've got the beast in my sight.
So now he has to deal with this creature as opposed to just Deadly Shotting and then having nothing on the board. Because he's so startlingly low in life. Like, he needs to remove this creature or he's going to die. What is it? I feel like... Okay, no, he's got my creature down. That's fine. I was going to say he might have even been better off putting that in the other form, but the taunt is maybe the safe bet. Unfortunately, I drawn a Black Knight, so... unlucky. I get to save my deadly shot, is what that basically says to me. I pressure the board again. So, in a way, this man is sort of like my... fourth deadly shot. If Big Game Hunter is my third, then this guy's the fourth. I'll ping it, but I'm going to keep my last charge, I think. Because I'm not going to kill him with this shot, so I can always use it next turn. I can always just hit him next turn, but I might need it in the for the long game. Like, I don't need to blow my last charge now to put him to 1 life. I can do that next turn. There's no harm in keeping it unless he's going to Acidic Slime me, but if he's going to waste his mana on that, I'll just beat him to death with a Black Knight. Something like double Starfall wouldn't be particularly good, though. Okay, so maybe I should have used my bow, because then I could just ping him and kill him next turn. Instead, I need to spend multiple turns trying to get through with Steady Shot. Actually, that's a damn lie. I have Deadly Shot. So, you know.
I'm invincible.
There we go. Good stuff. Alright. Anyway, there you go. Not too bad. That's me playing my my take on the Survival Hunter. My name is Super Chicken, and I'll see you next time.